How in the world did I park the trailer like this against the house backwards with no truck? Let me show you how. Hey guys, this is a quick video just about how I move my trailer with my trailer dolly. It's about 23 feet long, and I park it right next to my house. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room. It actually sticks out about 2 or 3 feet over, which is why I have to park it backwards, and my neighbors called the cops on me. So this is why I had to buy this $1,400 trailer dolly. This video is not sponsored. It's by Parkit 360 4 series. My trailer weighs about 6,000 pounds. And this seemed to handle it. I think I bought up the extra thick tires, so they have a lot of extra tread. I did have to deflate the tires a little bit to help with the traction, because I am going up a little bit of a curb, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Just to give you a little bit more information, this ball hitch is adjustable. It can go up and down if you spin it. There's also this little knob here that's meant to be in about the 10 o'clock position, and is the way you're supposed to set it up. Also, this extra piece right here is supposed to help keep it level right at the top here. And as you can see, there's a slight piece of metal that cannot overlap right here when you're putting it in. It does need a plug-in right here to be working. It does tell you your voltage of your battery. This is a forward and back motion. This does not turn very easily, and so I have to wrench it a lot. This is a piece that actually locks in right in this area to help lock it into place against your hitch. This is the first problem that I ran into. When you go to wheel this thing up next to it, it is rocked backwards and does not stay level. So what you have to do is roll up underneath it and hold it in this position, but then you also have to pull down your trailer. So what I have to do is this super awkward position where I have to pull up right here, which now gets us vertical, and I can hold it with my knee and then reach this thing, because it is about 6 feet apart. So I'm gonna drop this down. Well, problem number two, just realized also my battery was dead. So I did have to hand crank it down, which doesn't make it easier. So what I've done is lowered it right on top. I've locked now this into place. That was a little challenging at first trying to get that, but as you can see, we seem to be overlapping a little bit, so I may have to adjust this next. Okay, as you can see, there's that little space there in between. I'm not overlapping now. What I did is I just jacked it up, twisted this piece here a little bit to the left, and it seemed to even up. Okay, so I'll show you the next step. All right, next thing that I have to do, because I'm doing some sharp turns, is, as you see, there's really not any room of air. Like, if you're looking down, I only have a half of an inch in between this lip and this thing. So if I do any turning, I'm gonna hit a wheel. So now that I have the weight distributed on here, I have to remove this guy. So take that into account of how much room you have between your jack and your wheel. All right, so as you can see now, I have this removed. So I have probably, I don't know, 4 inches of space that I can turn in either direction, and that should now help with where I need to go. All right, next step, don't forget to lock this guy down. We don't want it sliding out and popping out, which I forgot once, and it didn't go so well, so make sure you do that. I always like to make sure that this cord is out of the way and we are plugged in, secure, so we have power. And see, I have 11.9, so I'm running a little short, but it should work. Oh, I almost forgot one critical step. So I unplugged my cord here, and what I have to do is take this rod and stick it in this hole right in there. There's a couple of them on there. And to start tightening it up, this brings this up tighter to the lip of the trailer, and without that, this thing has a lot of movement and could actually fall off onto the ground. It's a little hard to do with one hand while you're trying to record, but I'll just try to give you the gist of it. And it goes like this until it's tight. I don't want to bore you. All right, also forewarning, this thing is very loud and is probably about screaming person level volume. So make sure your neighbors are okay with that. So here we go. I have to pull all my weight this way. It goes pretty slow, there's only one speed. So now it's in the middle of the street. I need to make a sharp angle back to the right here to start making this curb. My curb's not very tall, but I did have to put a 2x4 here to help with the lip, otherwise the wheels spin and it high centers on the curb, which is not good. And once again, we're going right into this area against the house. And this is when you gotta really muscle it. Oh. As you can see, I already hit that area right there, so you cannot turn very tight at all. So we'll keep trying. Oh, I just tore part of my tire off. That's great. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to back it up. Crank on it. That's probably 75 to 100 pounds of force I got to pull to turn that. All right, I guess I didn't have it cranked up all the way, so now I got myself a few more inches so I don't tear off the tread on my tire. All right, so now I have to crank it the opposite direction to get the back of the trailer straightened out against where I need to be. My street's pretty thin. Also, I have another obstacle here, that little green electrical box of my neighbors I got to be careful for so I don't rip it out of the ground. So, and there's no easy way to do this. I got to be careful that I don't go over this with the big wheel, otherwise it'll spin. I don't recommend doing this in loose gravel. If so, it's got to be really hard compact and not a lot, otherwise you'll never make it, trust me. All right, here we go. You heard that, but it did bog down there as it's starting to climb up, making sure that my wheels are aligned with my little 2x4 here, and hopefully that'll work. It's going to be a sharp one. It's trying to straighten out, now it's spinning. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, even that slight little movement, trying to go up that lip, there's not enough downward force to get a good grip, and that's why I had to loosen the air in the tires, and as you can see, it's just spinning on the concrete there. So maybe I'll try backing up again and taking a little straighter angle at it and get a better moment. One more fault here. I noticed the handle, this thing spins a lot. It's supposed to be like that and slides off really easily, but the force that you have to yank on this thing to get it to turn is enormous, and this thing just doesn't stay on. Baby. And what I've had to do in the past is actually stand on this thing or right on it while I'm backing up, and obviously that's not safe in sandals. But let's try it. It's working. As you can see, we got it back again, straightened out just a little bit more. Don't have a lot of extra room. I think this will work. Okay. Like I said, I'm cutting it close here, so we'll try just a little bit more micro adjustments. Okay, I got about 2 inches and about 3 inches there. So let's go ahead and try to get this thing off here. Also, just a couple inches on there. So we'll see how that goes. And that's where we're dialed in. I can take off the wheel and wheel cover there, and you know, it's not perfectly straight, but that was tough. All right, one thing before you do anything taking it off, you definitely got to put chocks on here. I use these X chocks and they work great. They just put a little tension on each wheel in both directions so it can't rock forward or backward. That baby is tight. All right, here, so I put my little jack stand back on. I had to put it on the lowest setting because I am on an incline here, and if it doesn't go to the lowest setting, it'll be too high and I'll never get it level. So now that that's down, have to jack it down to get this thing off my trailer dolly. All right, I got my jack down. One thing I forgot to mention is this does have an automatic brake on it. So if you do have electric brakes, if you plug this guy on, when you stop this thing, it'll stop your trailer with its brakes. So that is one handy feature. So we just need to take this guy out. Now, once I unplug this, there's no more brakes, so that's why I chalked it. Snug. All right, I'll take this guy. I think what I'll have to do is when I jack it up a little more, this will loosen some tension, and this whole thing will rock back, so you got to be careful about your toes. All right, silly me, forgot to loosen this guy up, and as you can see, this is all stuck together and trying to pull out of here, so we don't want that. So next step is to loosen that guy with my rod. Oh, there we go, it just loosened. I heard the snap of the lock mechanism. It's gonna rock back. I'm holding the phone, so normally I would hold on to that. So now we are off and out. This thing has a locked wheel versus a free wheel position, and you just pull it out and twist it, and now I should be able to freely just pull back on it without it pulling against the engine. All right, so get this guy out of the way. Now I just get to lower it down to a level that's gonna work for me. You know, I gotta be careful here, so I won't bore you with this. All right, now, as you see, I'm slightly high, slightly to the right, but I mean, I'm not gonna be camping in this right now. It's just a store. So we'll put that back. Let's see how I did. Got some room there. I have millimeters, folks. Like, that's all I got. So let's check on this side. A little crooked, but hey, you know, even doctors get C's sometimes. All right, guys, that's it for me. It was a bit of a chore. I've I've done this, I don't know, 10-15 times, but if you don't do it every day, you forget those little steps. So hopefully you learned a little bit about what not to do. But as you can see, it's a bit of a challenge, and we'll get up close on this side and see how I did. That is tight. So don't recommend doing this if you don't have to, but when you got neighbors who complain and you want a trailer, you got to do what you got to do. Thanks a lot.